Bonjour, Monger. It's your Archeon of Wisdom, and I'm here to bring you a little bit of sketching news. We're coloring today. Today we're going to be talking about the streaming awards. If you live on TikTok like I do, you've seen many a clip from the streaming awards. I didn't personally watch them when they were happening. I really wasn't that I'm not that socially tuned in, guys. So I wasn't like key to that. But your boy does a little bit of research here and there. I have found out that for those who don't know, because I didn't know, the streaming awards are run by and hosted by Cutie Cinderella. Well, okay, I should say run by. They are run by Cutie Cinderella. And from what I understand, the judging is done by like a panel. So there is a board of directors involved, I assume. So that's relevant. Because Cutie Cinderella was hosting the event. She hosted, FanFan hosted. They had some people on the red carpet, as well. There's a lot of controversy going around with it. From what I understand, previous years, it's been pretty chill, pretty vibes. But it seems like this year, it did not hit the mark. It's very hard for me to imagine that this whole thing went through a board, and the board of directors was like, yeah, this will be fine. Overall, a lot of people were disappointed with the production and a lot of the mistakes. My big issue is that it feels like absolutely no planning was done for this. I mean, like, at all whatsoever. Like, it felt like no production value was put into it. Meaning, like, if you're gonna have presenters, they need to be able to present, and that's not a skill that everyone has. Not everyone is good with improv and a good comedian, and a good host. But if they're not, then you need to make sure that you have, coaching done. You need to set them up for success. Because that's part of production. Like, you need to make sure that they have the basic necessities, that everything is set up correctly. You need to make sure that cameramen, like, know where to go, know where to direct. You need to make sure that, like, stuff is rehearsed. You need to make sure that people, if your joke is going to hinge on somebody being in on the joke, you need to make sure that that person is in on the joke then. You know what I mean? Because otherwise it's not going to go over well. I mean, it felt bad to the degree that even her friends were not in on the jokes, which is hard to believe because, like, you have, like, you should have enough of a working relationship with Hassan for him not to be exhausted by your jokes. My gosh. Or, like, if you're going to have people on the red carpet interviewing people, then they should generally know things about the people they're interviewing. I don't know, like, that's why that role is usually fulfilled by a journalist, you know what I mean? It's not like EWTN, no. It's not like, TMZ sends whoever, they send journalists. They send journalists to the red carpet to interview people, or people who at least have the concept of journalism and how to speak to somebody. Oh my god. It just was so painful. And a lot of the jokes were very racial and very, like, my issue is, I understand that Cutie Cinderella is financially, responsible and putting on the show, but why did she have to be a host? Knowing that her controversy was not that long ago, why exactly did she have to host? Especially knowing, like, I see a lot of people be like, oh, she's autistic, oh, she has these social issues, she doesn't get social cues. Yeah, even more reason not to host, girly. It just, that feels attention grabby to me. Like, why would you, I don't understand why you would do that. Or why you would put yourself in that position that is not a good position to be in, especially right now. Like, you did not have to host this whole thing, or at least get yourself some media coaching. Like, you have the ability to get yourself media coaching, surely, at least, especially if you have trouble, like, public speaking and stuff. Like, I get that, but, like, that can all be solved by, like, a therapist and some media coaching, perhaps, Pooh. You know what I mean? It just felt like there was no production value in that sense at all whatsoever. And that's very frustrating. It felt like even other presenters, like Fan, she very clearly did not know how to, like, handle heckling and stuff like that too. Like, it took security way too long to remove people who got up on... The fact that somebody was able to get up on stage and have a Taylor Swift moment is crazy. You should have enough security to not have to deal with that. Especially if you're in control of the situation and you want to be in control of the situation. Like, please do take control to make the situation safer. I don't know what else to say about that. If you're gonna make, like, I just don't feel like racial jokes and Lobo jokes needed to be made. Like, you're telling me that you couldn't hire writers, or it didn't dawn on you to hire writers, or worse, writers okayed this? A board of directors said, yeah, go ahead. Sure. Make the racial jokes, and make 7,000 jokes about Hassan's dog. Because, I don't know, you guys have a working relationship, question mark? That's the only reason I can think. But it didn't seem like he was even in on the jokes. Like, that's what I mean. Like, how... a lot of people are upset because they feel a perceived unfairness. I don't even see that. I don't see a perceived unfairness because I don't see her actually having interactions that would point to her actually having real relationships with people. This is supposed to be her community, her streaming community, and she is not at all informed about this kind of stuff. That seems so weird to me. And again, like, if that's the case, then you need to do your due diligence, and you need to hire people that allow you to do that. You need to hire a better manager, I guess, or hire a manager for the project specifically. Like, I don't know, girl, you're already putting your own money into this. You know what I mean? If I was putting my own money into something, I would surely be doing more preparation than this. At least having a dress rehearsal. Like, this overall, every single clip feels like the worst, most cringiest moments from your stepsister's wedding. That's the only way I could, like, even compare it, because it's so bad. And I don't know, I've heard people say, like, oh, this is a reflection of, like, what we consume. If it is a reflection of what we consume, then we need to do better. We seriously need to do better, and put better streamers in power. Honestly, I don't know what else to do, because this is crazy. Oh, Like, there has to be a higher standard. We have to do better than this. Like, this feels so cringy and bad. And just optically bad. Just very, very optically bad. Which is the worst part. Because, like, every day I feel like I hate Cutie Cinderella more. And that's not, like... I used to vibe with Cutie Cinderella. I thought she was, like... You know, she seems like a very cool person, and I still believe she's a very cool person. I just, like, am really getting frustrated with these optic mistakes that she's making. And it just seems like her intentionally fighting against the branch, and I think that is going to get her swept into the river. You know, people are not going to tune in for that for very long. Or she's going to cultivate a bad audience. You know what I mean? But that's all for today. Archeon out. I love ya. Bye.